Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm laughing because we just spent the last half hour like trying everything, like every trick in the book to get Logic Live to work. And so I am so much looking forward to today's show. And I've never been more grateful for anything in my entire life than that Randy McEntee is not available to be on the show today. He was supposed to be on, but he had to cancel it because it never let me live it down. But, oh, you know what I just remembered? This is a much shorter intro song. So I think we're about to start Logic Live 110 NAB wrap-up and the Flame Award winner. Oh my God, hold on. I have so many things I've been prepared. All right. Here we go, everybody. Logic Live 110, we're back, and there is absolutely no doubt that it's a live show. And I think I have the music set on loop, which is why there's no ending. Oh no, it just ended. Oh my God, there we go. Hey everybody, my name is Andy, and everyone who wrote in and said, you know, you should try doing Logic Live drunk, and I was like, no, that would just lead to chaos. Really, obviously, it was prescient. We should the only way to make this more fun, I think, next time is if we like did this live, you know, from when we were in Vegas and we all were a little bit tipsy. My name is Andy, and welcome to Logic Live 110. We're going to do we have a double feature for you today. We're going to do an NAB 2023 wrap up with some of our friends who were there, and then we're going to announce the winner of the 2023 Flame Award. I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work right now, but I'm going to try to go to the slideshow. Oh my God. We should just end the show now, you know? Like, it's only going to go downhill from here. This episode of Logic Live is brought to you by AJA, together with Flame since 2006. And Hotspring, the future of VFX outsourcing. Hotspring connects you to great artists to get your projects done, making it easier than ever to access the best talent around the world. You can find them at www.thehotspring.com. There it is. All right. And hey, if you're in the market for anything from Boris FX, any of their amazing plugins or standalone products, you can save 15% by using the Logic discount code Logic-2023. Our friends from Boris are going to be on in a couple weeks to show off the latest in the 2023 versions of Silhouette and Mocha Pro. So definitely look forward to seeing them all again. You know, I didn't remove this slide, but it's fine. It's totally fine because we're going to talk about Logic After Dark, the amazing event that we held at NAB 2023. We got pictures and stories and everything. It was just a wonderful event, and I'm so happy we did it, and I cannot wait to go back next year and make it even better. I'd like to recommend everybody, if you have a minute, check out the Logic merch store. We've got some great new stuff. We've got phone cases and iPod cases, notebooks. Check it out. It's always close to somebody's birthday, so if you're looking for the perfect gift for that flame artist in your life, maybe you should consider picking up something from the Logic merch store. I want to thank all of our patrons. I want to thank all of our patrons on Patreon who make this possible. We're up to 162 patrons. We could not do what we do here at Logic without you. So thank you very, very much. If you'd like to support what we're doing here at Logic for as little as $5 a month, get yourself some exclusive content like the Q&As that we do after the show and a challenge coin. You can sign up now or today or later today at patreon.com/LogicTV. Some forum stats for our friend Randy. The forum is going crazy, and we're very happy about it. We're up to 1,338 users on the forum. That's up 25 since last show. 879,000 page views, which is up 286,000 since the last show, which was just a couple weeks ago. 4,200 posts, up 1,300, and 645 users on Discord. That's up 19. If you guys are not on the Logic Discord server, what are you doing? Click on the Discord tab at the top of the Logic forum. Head on over for some live chat for immediate answers to your questions. Occasionally we do some live streams. Amanda did a live stream of the Logic After Dark event on the Logic Discord. So definitely check that out if you have not already by joining the conversation. And challenge coins have shipped. Randy had a statistic of how many challenge coins we've sent. It's kind of amazing. I would absolutely, well, you know what? I was going to thank Randy, but I want to give a shout out to Glenn Teal, who has taken over the producing of the Logik podcast. Glenn and Amanda have been churning out podcast content, and I'm very, very grateful. There's Glenn Teal again. The latest one, I believe, is with John Agapitos from Australia, who I don't know. I haven't seen his name in the. There he is. John is awake. I think it's 2 a.m. there. So thank you, John, for being on Logik Live. Let's talk Logik Academy, friends. We dropped some new Logik Academy content for 2023. The first was part 2 of the particle system in Flame by Sinan. An introduction to Matchbox shaders from Graziella Gandolfi. And all of this new Logik Academy content is available for free on our YouTube channel. You can also check it out at logik.tv. It's a wonderful thing, and we're very grateful to all of the instructors who've put together this content, and of course grateful to Autodesk for sponsoring Logik Academy. 4 a.m. in Australia. Thank you, John. Speaking of Autodesk Flame, which we talk about often on this show, version 2024 is out and in the wild. And in addition to that, I don't know if you've seen it, but there has been some amazing new content on the Flame Learning channel showing off the new features in Flame 2024. And it was produced by none other than our very own Jeff Kyle. We've got, I think, 3 sets of videos have been released so far. There's the one about modifying the start frame in batch, one about the metadata, the new metadata overlay options, and then I think, and I'm sure Jeff will correct me if I'm wrong, it was a 4-parter, I think, on the new improvements in Batch Paint. Tracking user interface improvements, being able to edit multiple paint strokes at the same time, and it's just wonderful. In fact, don't take it from me how wonderful these videos are. I've got praise from none other than the praise master himself, Alan Letary, who sent me a text to say that he thinks that Jeff Kyle is the best Flame Learning channel guy so far. And I know better than to argue with Alan, so I'm going to take that for all that it's worth. Absolute praise. All of the Flame Learning channel videos are available at the Flame Learning channel at youtube.com/AutodeskFlame. Check him out. Thank you, Jeff. Congratulations. And the moment I've been dreading for the last 39 minutes is we're going to start the show now. And I'm going to welcome all of my guests, almost all of my guests at the same time. Let's see. We have a preset that is not working. I'm going to bring on, in no particular order, except that I love them all. From Parts Unknown, Brooks Tomlinson. Say hello, Brooks.
Hello! From Detroit.
From Detroit, Michigan. All the way from Hamburg, we have Finn Jäger. Hello, Finn. It sounds like, Brooks, your producers are having an argument over a budget or something in the back room, but I know better, right? Hello, Finn. Oh, Finn, I think you got to hit that tab audio button that we figured out about 20 minutes ago. Coming to us from New Jersey is the talented and lovely Josh Lawrence.
Hello from New Jersey.
Right? And then on Zoom, I've got Jeff Kyle. Hello, Jeff. And wait a minute, friends. Hold on. Stand by. I'm going to add to Zoom from California, from Los Angeles, California. Amanda Elliot is coming in live right now on Zoom as we speak. Or not. All right. We will return in a second and see if Amanda's able to join. My friends, oh, there you are. Welcome, Amanda. I can see you, but I can hear you, but I can't see you. So while that gets worked out, I'm going to go back to this screen here and just talk a minute about, did I lose Josh?
Nope,
I'm here. This is going to be the best show ever. Oh, there's Josh. Okay, let me bring Josh back. There's Josh. Okay. Whew. And Brooks just got back from firing one of his producers, I believe. So I want to thank all of you. You were all at NAB, at the Logik After Dark event. I wanted to get everybody here together to kind of talk about NAB 2023. It was the first one I've been to since 2019, and it absolutely felt like old times, as we like to say. I wanted to see what your impressions were, and maybe ask you all to share with the audience at home some of the things that you saw at the event, and we'll go from there. Maybe we'll start with Josh. Josh, how was NAB 2023 for you?
It was amazing. I actually hadn't been to NAB since 2004, and it was amazing. It was really like it was wonderful to see everybody. The show was smaller than I remembered it. In 2004, it was across several hallways and also in the Venetian, and there was all these breakout rooms. And this year, it seemed a bit smaller, but it also seemed much more focused,
Mm-hmm.
and it was good. There was no Autodesk booth, which was okay since we had the Logic room to go to, which was great. It was like a suite that Andy and Randy put together, and um, places to hang. It was like a nice place to hang out and drink beer and spend
And
time
White
together.
Claw.
Yeah,
Yeah, beer and White Claw. I want to make sure that everyone
yeah.
understands the representation.
I did want to share a story. One of the on the first night, I think it was the first night. One of the artists who uh, stuck around for the end presentation with Fred and Stefan raised an issue about Premiere XMLs and how they're all kind of rough, and it's something that I know we think that we've been talking to these guys about since Premiere started doing like more professional stuff 5 6 years ago. But Premiere XMLs really don't come into Flame properly. And I got a chance to, Steve McNeil was there and Fred was there and Stefan were there. And they were like, guys, we just need some examples of what is wrong. And uh, because of the Logic Live episode I had done with Jeff, I actually had a bunch of Premiere generated XMLs and the reference QuickTimes and all the media that went together with that publishing episode that I did. And I had a chance to give it all to Steve McNeil. And Steve, in real time, pulled up copies of all the different nonlinear editors that possibly come into Flame and was able to dive right in. And he and I just went back and forth and started looking at some of the issues. And he definitely identified some things that were amiss, and he was surprised. And it was like being there at NAB was great. I got like several hours to talk to these guys and
Yeah.
work through a problem in real time. So it was just a fantastic experience. I mean, I don't know
It's
exactly. Steve emailed me this morning when I asked him whether I could share the story, and he said absolutely, definitely. But make no
okay.
promises
Good.
about what they're going to about what the solutions are going to be. But he did identify existing problems, so
Oh,
it is
okay. Great.
absolutely on radar, and it's something that they're looking at intently right now.
See,
So
I love this story for two
cool.
reasons. One, it's like the perfect example of um, the benefit of getting together, and going to an event like this. It's certainly after the pandemic, people say, why go to a trade show? What's the point? I can get everything online. And here, you had the opportunity to spend a couple hours with the development team. And
Yeah,
then on the other thing I love about this is, we tell people on the forum all the time, if you see a bug, report it. And if you're going to report a bug, send files, send a log, send a file that isn't working, send a screen recording or something. And in that Logic After Dark session, before you went and talked to Steve, there was a user there who was saying, I'm having trouble with XMLs; they're not coming in properly. And they asked him, can you send us the files? And the response was something like, I'm too busy, I don't have time. I mean, and we all get that way, you know. And then I saw you just like light up, and you had the files with you, and were able to, you know,
yeah.
just
I
present
had
the.
they were they were terrible. They're like Premiere generated XMLs where the time codes are slipping and the time
Oh
warps don't
yes,
work properly and the layers come in weird and the stills are all
yeah.
wrong duration. Yeah, and Steve McNeil was like, "Oh, this is this and this is that," and he identified the reasons why they're coming in that way, and
Hmm.
and so it was a really really good experience.
That's great. Yan has just put in the chat something I'd like to share. I'd like to share with the group here. Yes,
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah,
yeah, he's
it's
right.
not. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful, man. Thank you for sharing that. And I'll come back to you in a little bit for some more thoughts. I wanted to turn the camera and microphone over to our friend Brooks Tomlinson. Brooks, are you still on? Oh, thank God.
I am. Hello.
Oh, there's no idea. I'm actually, you do, because you've been on with us since 1:30, watching everybody drop off and come back on. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and I was giving you the running countdown until the show went live. I'm sure that helped.
Yeah,
Right?
Brooks, you're really good. You were able to like find the moment when I was absolutely at my most stressed and say like, Andy, we got 5 minutes. Like,
So
perfect.
yeah,
Brooks, how was
what I
your
figured
NAB?
it was good, and I figured what I would share is boots on the ground kind of stuff, like stuff that you couldn't get by just reading like the headline and stuff like that. I would love to talk about the 3D displays we saw, which are really cool, but doesn't really translate in this environment. But there are real, actual 3D displays that look by your eye camera tracking, and they look real. Andy and I both saw it. So if you ever get an opportunity to see one of the displays, they're really awesome
Yeah.
and require no glasses or anything. But what I was going to talk about is a lot of times when people are getting recommendations or what's going on, the big thing is the Mac Studio now. But then people are like, what do I do for hardware? What do I do for my internal drive? And the best recommendation currently is bump it up to 8 because that's the fastest drive you're going to be able to get for it because of the I/O is not fast enough to sustain any other kind of fast drive. Your internal drive is going to be faster. But for a while now, there's these people called Iodine. If you can flip over to my screen share,
Mm-hmm.
um, they have come out with a product that actually gangs two Thunderbolt ports together, and you can get up to you can get parity with one of these. You can get parity with your drive that is in the Mac Studio, so you can get the same speed that you can get with the Mac Studio, and then it also allows you to do. There's a whole bunch of other whiz bang things that it allows you to do, but mostly I'm going to be talking about the speed that it has. So it was really funny because I was actually talking to these guys, and one interesting tidbit, because he saw on my badge that I was a flame operator, is he said, "Oh, Lola, Lola, the guys that do the face stuff on the Marvel movies
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that." He's like, "Oh, Lola is our biggest investor." So apparently they're doing some sort of where they're doing with Mac Studios and running out with these, because if you put three of these together, you can get up to 10 megabits per or 10 gigabits per second, which is pretty good through Thunderbolt.
Wow.
But yeah, it's really impressive. The downfall is the price, though.
Uh-oh.
So the benefits is it is completely user replaceable. You can fix
It
anything.
replaces the user, is what you're saying.
Yes, you can fix anything that goes wrong. Like you can put in your own hard drives, or replace, or the hard drives can be fixed. So it's storage that you can keep to go with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's designed. It's read and write speeds for just bonded. So it's really interesting. They're taking two Thunderbolts and connecting it into your drive. They can even take four and connect it into your computer. Use up four spaces and get more speed because they're basically using two channels of the drive. So they're basically using each bus individually, that your Mac Studio or your MacBook or whatever. As long as you have multiple buses, you can take advantage of what they call is a multi-path workflow. And so that's why they have eight of these connectors, is because if you're taking up four of your connectors, you'd have to plug into your machine to get your monitor, and to get your other peripheral, you'd have to plug into this machine to get your other downstream Thunderbolt devices. Finn and I asked if they could make a cheaper version that's just one multipath, to get that speed, but
Hmm.
they they didn't see the use case of it. I'm like, well, I see the use case all the time. And something interesting to note is they don't have any fall off in their read and write, so it
Ooh.
stays sustainable through it. Where other NVMe drives will drop off, and that's basically their secret sauce that they're working through. Now the problem is, here's the big one: like for 12 terabytes, it's $4,500.
Wow.
So yeah. So and then like for 24, it's, 24 it's $7,500. But like the thing that you got to weigh it against is if your machine went down but your storage is fine, you could just get a new machine and put it in. Where if that 8 terabyte
Hmm.
drive that you have fails in the machine, that's everything
Yeah.
that it's failed.
Right.
So
As our friend Randy likes to say, you're going to be, carrying your Mac Studio to the Apple store, trying to save the project that you're working on. Yeah.
right, where the current price is going to 8 terabytes is $2,200. So it's definitely a better buy when you're looking at it for that. It just kind of depends on your use case and what you need. But it's such an interesting technology that I just
Yeah.
wanted to bring it up to what they're doing. And there are flame people, big flame people in the wild using it, and so they band it up. So it is an option. It is available. If it just we Finn and I both like we were talking to him like can it just be like it's just over that price line that puts it into
Hmm.
good for studio, bad for small guy use, and so we're just trying to find anything that we could do, but
Yeah. I mean,
that
the good
was
news is though it does come in three colors for $4,500, and it says there it comes with as many as up to two complimentary 0.7 meter, which is like what, like this long? I don't know. I'll have to ask
right.
Finn when he gets back on. Thunderbolt cables, you know.
So
So I mean, take that into consideration. I mean, if you really need, is that blue or purple? You
right.
know, think
So
of what you would
so
spend to paint the thing or
I
wrap
know,
it.
right?
You know, and
Yeah, you
so
can make it purple.
it
So
easily
it
makes
just
it,
kind of
44.49 then. So
yeah, it just kind
I
of
love
comes
that.
down to your use case. I'll be
Hmm.
they were interested in what we had to say. So if anyone is like needs like just faster drive space, but like not at this price point, I would say give them an email because they're looking for data. But if like you're like, I can't go Linux for whatever reason, but I need faster I/O
Hmm.
in my Mac Studio, this is your best solution because
That's
it'll
great.
basically give you parity with your internal drive, and you get
Nice.
more space too.
Hmm. And it's upgradable if you need, if you do go that route. Sweet.
Correct. You can add another one, or you can add another one and rate it together, or have it mirror, or stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it gives you redundancy built in. So, but it's expensive.
It's expensive. Well, cool. Thanks, Brooks. I
No
appreciate it, man. It
problem.
was so great hanging with you. I'm gonna now press this button here, cross my fingers, say a prayer, throw some sand over my right shoulder, and see if okay. I don't know how to stop that from happening. So we're just gonna say hi to all of our friends on Zoom. Hi, friends on Zoom. I've got Jeff, Josh. I think you're typing. Um,
Yeah,
if you couldn't
I
mind.
just printed this thing. My first stone was 1.1 terabytes, and it was
Uh-huh.
$22,000.
Eh.
I think I had
Yeah.
160 gigabyte drives, and I had 1,260 gigabyte drives, or 106 gigabyte drives in there. So
Yeah. But that's when $22,000 was a lot of money, you know?
yeah, it's like $48,000 for a.
Right.
And I think I got like 500 megabytes per second on that drive.
Wow.
Yeah,
And you
so
didn't get your choice of colors either, which is kind of,
it came in blue. That was it.
yeah, it only came in blue. I'm going to turn this over to our friend Finn Jäger. Hello, Finn. And you can hear me, right? Oh, good. Thank God. I would like to ask you your thoughts about NAB. Or actually, before I ask you for your thoughts about NAB, I'm going to spotlight you like that for our friends at home so that they can see you. And I just want everybody to know that when Finn showed up at in Vegas, he had been traveling for something like 30 hours or something, right? And he arrived. I think you might need to speak up a little louder, Finn. Sorry. Yeah. Oh no, I got you. That. Yeah, they can't hear you at home. Let me see here. One second. One second. Hold on. One second. One second. It is.
Means anything? I do hear Finn.
There we go. Can I get a name in from you, Finn? There we are.
Hello.
All right. Thank you,
Zoom
Bob
audio
Maple.
routed now.
No, that was me. Zoom audio is now connected. You arrived like 30 hours of travel, sat down, grabbed a beer, and then immediately listed off the people you needed to go see at the convention center tomorrow and yell at. Right?
Yeah, I
and
had
it was
many
basically
people to
all
yell
monitor
at.
created. It was all around like monitors, right? Something you're very passionate about.
Yeah. It's my. I guess my main thing is monitors. When it comes to hardware, like computers, they're all kind of the same now. Not very interesting. But monitors is for me where it's at. So I had many questions to many manufacturers of what they're doing, why they're doing it, and I got some great answers from some people. I got some not so great answers from others, but it was awesome to just go there and like ask them in person, because that way they can't evade you. Like you send them an email, they will try to muck their way around it and try to be, they don't want to put anything in writing that is like secret or not, not set in stone yet. But when you talk to them person to person, they'll be like, we did this, we did that. There's gonna be that, but we can't publicly say this. So it's that's I think the coolest part about going to a trade show, right? To just get this first-hand information that they are not gonna publicize yet, but as long as you don't record them saying it, they never really said it, did they? So that was cool. So that gives you that also gives you, industry insights that get you ahead of the curve, I think, right? Because I now know, like, okay, what am I going to purchase in the coming year? Like, am I going to purchase something now, or am I going to purchase something in 6 months because this guy on the booth said maybe wait 3 months, there will be a new product out, something like that. Not saying that happened, but could have happened.
Plausible
Potentially.
deniability, Finn. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that they, nobody ever told me anything, so that was cool. Yeah, so let me share my screen here, I guess. You see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so obviously the first big monitor announcement that I had to have a look at was the new HX3110 from Sony, which is like the prime, most sought after mastering monitor out there. The old version was called the HX310. And this one kind of I found really interesting because the panel that they use on the older model was a dual layer LCD, right? It's two LCDs stacked on top of each other to give you all that contrast that you need for HDR. And the company that made them and invented them, Panasonic, they stopped producing them. So I thought, okay, so what's going to be, I was always curious, like, what is going to be the next step after dual layer LCD? Because that technology was done. It was not produced anymore. So I thought, okay, they're going to maybe release a new OLED or something like that. But no, they made their own dual layer LCD, which I didn't see coming. That was really interesting to see how that is sort of better or different to the old model, which was created by Panasonic. And, they improved the viewing angles. It now does 4,000 nits by using a full array local dimming backlight, in addition to having the dual layer LCD. I wasn't impressed so much by the brightness, and it has like a low latency mode that just flickers, like a low response time, pixel response time mode that tries to mimic a OLED. That was flickering, so that wasn't very nice. But all in all, it's a pretty solid upgrade, and what I found really interesting is that they're going to continue selling the older model until they are out of stock at a cheaper price. So while that's not publicly announced yet, the Sony guy told me that. Didn't sign an NDA, so I think I can talk about that. So
that's it.
If you want to buy a mastering monitor, maybe just wait a little bit to see this one at the older model drop in price, or this one to be out, and that will be out in 2024. So yeah, and then ISO, I talked to them, and they still have a bunch of the old Panasonic panels in stock, so you can still get one of those. That was maybe like the main part why I went to NAB, was actually to see that monitor in person, and it was cool to see it, so I have an idea of what that is. The other thing that I saw, which was cool, is the HP Z8 Fury. So, for everybody that used Z840, Z8 and all that, which we probably all have seen before, Z800, they all kind of, they were mediocre sort of, workstation computer. Not very interesting. And me and Randy, we look at the Z8 and, they managed to fit like 4 GPUs in there. Like that, we like this combination right here we saw. It has the front NVMe base. It has like daughter cards that you can plug in with like NVMe cards on there in addition to all the PCIe slots. So the internal layout looked way more sane than like on the P620, for example. So that's just nice as a hardware nerd. For me, this is like looking at it's like, yeah, somebody thought about that. That's actually a machine that is like worth getting versus for me building it myself, because I'm always thinking like I can build it myself better. I can just get a ginormous case and fit whatever I want in there, water cool everything. Like this is just like somebody had thought about that. So that was really nice to just see. And the pictures don't do it justice if you see it in the flesh.
Well,
and, like,
you know what
touch
picture
it,
does it
it's solid.
justice though? But the picture that does it justice is this one, because I don't know if you can see my screen on the Zoom there, but I got this picture on the show floor of you and Randy like obsessing over the Z8 Fury with the HP rep there. Yeah, Randy was down on one knee,
awesome.
genuflecting to the gods. If you saw like the look in his eyes, looking at 4 GPUs, 4 A6000s, I think they were in one case.
I have a couple other angles I can show when it's my turn too, so stay tuned.
Yeah, me and Randy, we like, I think that guy, that HP guy was sweating a bit because we were just going.
I think
on,
he just became
is
a
that
patron.
cable there? That was cool. Yeah, that was definitely cool. Me and Randy picking that thing apart. That was awesome.
Totally.
So yeah, definitely check that out. That could be a nice like step up option from when you have a Z840 or a Z8. You could look at that. So that's cool. And then the last thing, just something really quick, is like if you're into like onset stuff, do look at the Blackjet stuff. The old one was kind of janky, but the new ones, I touched it. It's pretty solid. So I just remembered that because I'm like, we bought a bunch of stuff now because I went there and had a talk, and they were really nice people, and they knew what they were doing. So yeah,
sweet.
NAB big plus, and obviously the After Dark show was probably the best thing that happened during NAB for sure.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much, Finn. I'm going to turn this over to Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hello. Can you hear me go okay now?
Yes. We've been through war together, just trying to get this show on.
Right?
How was your NAB?
NAB was good. Actually, it took a little bit of a different approach this year. I think this is probably my 5th or 6th one or something like that. I can't remember now. And rather than kind of going on the floor and checking everything out, I felt like you guys were probably going to do all of that. So chatting with Glenn Teal before, we were talking about how we can set something up to maybe do like a live or a podcast at the event. There's a lot that goes into it, Andy, like we talked about before, like being able to broadcast the monitor out and do that to Discord. So Glenn and I were talking about how we do that. I think we have a lot of ideas for how we could probably do that for next year, or how we might be able to do that in the coming years. It was just a lot of work to be able to get that going. But my approach this year actually was to focus more on like the podcast side of it. So one of the things I did was I walked around with my Zoom mic, and I just got some interviews of some people talking about things that I thought would help benefit Flame. Talk to like Edit Share. I even saw Zytec there and a few other places. So I just walked around with my recorder, and it was more like getting information and talking with people and getting to know more about the companies that were there, and just gathering information. Basically, that's what it was. So I kind of took a step back this year from focusing solely on like, I don't know, like what I need or what I can look at or what I could get or something like that. And more of like, I kind of let you guys handle that stuff, and got more of like viewpoints from people, and even interviewed some of you guys too, which was cool. Like at lunch, getting some audio bits from you. Yeah. So that'll be in the podcast as well. So I'm still cutting it. As of now, it'll take a little bit, but it was just a fun approach this year to take it as like a different viewpoint of how I wanted to see it, from actually talking to the people about their experiences, and then also a little bit of my experience being there too, since I've been there a few times.
That was great. It was also great, like, oh, there's Amanda. There were so many instances of like, oh, hey, there's Amanda, because like even just going around the show floor, there were times where a bunch of us or a group of us like arrived at the same time, or rendezvoused at the same time, and we would start and we get like 3 like booths into the show floor, and then something caught someone's eye and boom, and then you didn't see them again until we were at the suite that night. But you were all over the show floor. It was great.
But it was definitely cool to try different things. Another thing I tried though too is I had my Insta360 camera that I put on the table at the event that we did. So it was cool to see that. I have some videos. I probably should have got them colored by Finn because it's a little bit low light. But it was just kind of fun to see what the camera could do, just some different ideas that I'm thinking about for next year. So if it's okay, I wanted to share my screen just to show just a little piece of video.
Yeah, sure, please.
From that. Okay. Okay. So this is the 360 camera that was on the table. And
hey man, all we're seeing is the finder window.
Ooh, let's see here. Let's do, sorry.
That's okay. It's kind of the theme of today's show.
There it is. Yeah. See, it wouldn't be a show if I didn't mess something up, right? Can you guys see that now, the QuickTime?
Yep.
Okay, Finn, don't judge. Okay, so he's left.
It's almost like being there. It's like if you were sitting on the couch.
Yeah, so what this camera does, it was just really fun to keep this on the table and to watch everyone.
This is how I imagine my cat sees the world too, like with a wide angle lens. And oh, that's great. Because Randy was ensconced in that corner. Oh, wonderful. We had such a great time. I cannot wait to go back next year and and do more of these and do more in the suite. We were really brainstorming about that. That we had these great events at night, but that room just sat empty during the day. And so maybe it would be great next year to do some kind of like whether they're master classes or whatever, just have scheduled events throughout the show in our own little suite there. So.
For sure, cool, for sure. So yeah, so it was a lot of fun to be able to hook the camera up, to try some things. So I'm very appreciative of everyone being patient with me, like setting up cameras, setting up Discord, walking around with mics, interviewing people. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that this year.
Oh, it was awesome. Thank you so much for everything. I can't wait to hear the podcast. And it was just great to see you again out there.
All right, you too, man.
I'm going to turn this over to Jeff, who walked around the Logik After Dark events with a camera, which normally terrifies me. Especially when he has that smile where he's just like, and announces, I have other angles of that, which hopefully I'm not in. So Jeffrey, how was your first NAB?
Yeah, it was my very first NAB, and I had a blast. It was so much fun. I didn't have like a targeted list like Finn had of specific vendors to go talk to and hound over.
Yell at, yeah.
I just, yeah.
An enemies list. You didn't show up at NAB with an enemies list?
No, I didn't go and like heckle the Resolve people and or anything like that. But no, I had such a blast. Just really, I focused on the people aspect, and I have a couple of, and these aren't any deprecating pictures at all, but I'll share my few pictures that I have.
We're saving those for the patrons Q&A after.
Yeah, exactly. But just kind of to walk through just some of the things that we saw. Like we had a little group one of the days. It was Randy and Andy and Finn and another Andy, just kind of like just saying hello to like Stefan, for example. And I think this is the part where we were able to talk to Stefan, but also talk with the HP guy to go dig deeper into the specifics of the Fury. And by the way, I didn't really even know that Finn had more than just Hawaiian shirts until I saw him today. It's good to know that his wardrobe has some variety, but I do love the Hawaiian shirt. He was like the Hawaiian
Vegas,
shirt guy.
Baby.
He was easy to spot.
You embraced the Vegas.
Yeah. It was great. Randy was the tallest one, I think, well, when it was me and Randy, and he was always able to spot Finn no matter what was going on. It was great.
Yeah, that's great. But no, it was just, I just can't say it enough. It was fun to just be around these people that I had just been hanging out with in the community for so long, but never really seen in person. And just, there's something nice about interacting with them in person that you don't really get on text or anything.
You couldn't have run that picture of Randy through like lens undistortion or something? You couldn't have
I totally
thrown an ST map on there for the sake of our friendship?
I've failed to run this through the ST map. It has some bad distortion. I apologize to the Flame community at large. But aside from hanging out with the Logic peeps, it was wonderful to meet the Flame development peeps, and that's Jess, my wife, who's I think is in the chat, as well as Fred, Stefan, and
Louis.
just the devs. Luis, yeah, of course. And it was so great to chat with them because I think until this point, my like interaction with the devs in person was really just they would visit some of the studios that I was at maybe once a year if I was lucky. Otherwise, like maybe once a year at a user group. And we don't really have time because if they're at my a studio I'm working at, they're just making the rounds to many studios, so we can't really chat. And if it's at a user group, then they're pretty busy chatting with everybody. So it was just a really wonderful thing to have a little bit more intimate conversations and chats with them about anything flame related, but also like personal related, getting to know them better. And I thought that was really cool, something that you don't usually get every day, which I thought was great.
Totally.
And a little bonus here is it wouldn't be I assume this is Randy's personality, but it wouldn't be an NAB if Randy didn't run a prank on Fred. He set the he set the friction to 0 while Fred wasn't looking, and then when he looked back, it was just a bunch of clips flying across the screen. I love that. That's the kind of thing that you don't get in the work from home world anymore, but it was like a nice taste of in-person flame
office
shenanigans.
pranks.
Yeah, office pranks that are kind of like gone now. But that was like a really nice bonus.
Totally.
But aside from the Logic shenanigans and the saying hello to the devs, I kind of embraced my roots and I took a look at the Adobe booth a lot. That was like my big stop for a couple days in a row. And I just got a taste of some of the new features from Premiere and some of the new features from After Effects because as much as I love being a Flame artist and using Flame as my tool of choice, I can't ignore that things like tutorials, I'm definitely using Premiere and After Effects to do those. And even once in a while for Flame jobs, I'm jumping into After Effects just because they don't have the After Effects designers for the full job, and so I got to go in there and modify stuff. So it's good to keep abreast of like new features that come in. And the two that really stood out were the one that a lot of people were talking about here I have up on the screen is Premiere's text to edit feature, which when you hear the word text to edit, a couple of things come to mind. A couple of more things than are actually true came to my mind. I thought it was a little bit more AI driven, but in reality, it's more. It's just a combination of some of the features that already exist in Premiere that they're kind of expanding upon just a little bit, which I think is cool in its own way, but it wasn't quite what I thought it was. It combines the transcribe feature, which just listens to the audio that's captured on the video, and it like turns it into text, and the edit feature of being able to like just of course just take a in and out point of video and put it into your timeline. So this allows you to actually select text and use the text that's associated with the video portion to just add it into your edit. So this is something that even producers could probably do without any edit experience, just highlighting words and pressing the comma button to create an edit easier than ever before. Pretty interesting to know that this is happening. Hopefully it speeds up the offline process, but just an interesting advancement. And one of the interesting little blurbs that I heard the person who was doing the demo on this say that I thought was fascinating was that they have the technology and they can make this a lot more AI driven and a lot more advanced than it is, but they just want to kind of take their time because of ethical considerations. Like I'm pretty sure that they're able to like go full fledged, have Adobe just edit the damn video for you, but I think they're not doing that intentionally, not to stay behind the times, but because they're worried about considerations, ethical considerations and otherwise. So I thought that was pretty fascinating to hear them talk about that.
I think they're also very aware, based on some of the very high-profile AI blunders that we've seen, recently, that you get one shot at kind of bringing this product, bringing the feature to market. So
yeah,
I'm
and
sure
if you
that's
ruin that
probably
trust,
in there
then
too.
that's it, right?
Yeah. Cool.
And just the last thing was just some After Effects stuff. Specifically, what I was most interested in was this thing called the properties panel in After Effects. It's a way to just quickly access what you used to have to twirl open layers to access. Now it's just accessible in another panel. Wonderful quality of life thing. And then something I didn't really jump too far into was some OCIO integration in After Effects, which is always good because I think at least from my perspective, maybe I just haven't had the time to devote to understanding After Effects' color management. But if I'm correct, maybe Finn can chime in. I think people were laughing at After Effects' color management for a while. It wasn't quite robust. And so this is a good step in the right direction, potentially, to make it more legit. Ooh,
We
I
got a
the
thumbs up from Finn.
I made it. I made it.
That's great.
But that's what I got. Good stuff.
Love it. Well, thank you, friends. I just had a couple of things that I wanted to share. For me, must be maybe like my 15th NAB or some crazy number like that. And every time I had ever been there before, I was there representing the company that I was working for. I was going to look at new storage options or look at monitors or anything like that. And this is really the first time I was at NAB, really just for Logik and just for the community and just to kind of take what we've been doing, and building virtually for the last few years and try to turn it into a live in-person experience. And it was wonderful. I couldn't believe, I was so overwhelmed with just seeing everybody and just kind of experiencing it all together. I had a couple of pictures and things I wanted to share, kind of like a behind the scenes. I hope to God this works. So yeah, all right. We started out with this, which was the picture of the guys fawning over the Z8, and in no particular order, of course. Like we also ran into these two guys, which were I can't remember. Jeff, maybe you remember. This guy was FFmpeg, and this one is VLC, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
You recognize the VLC icon, but FFmpeg was a little bit more subtle. But yeah, it's amazing to just see them out there.
And those are the real guys. Those are the real developers of it. They weren't just
Yeah.
two super fans in like obscure like video software cosplay, which is a thing. I bet you if you look hard enough on the internet in Reddit. So we ran into them. Josh and I saw this in a restroom, which I thought was a phenomenal use of a captive audience and B, flawless streaming. You know what I mean? I'd love to know the statistics on how many phones were lost in trying to grab that QR code. Let's see, what was next? Oh, I wanted to then kind of show some. Is this going to work? You guys can see that, right? Yes. Little browser. We on the forum there are some great pictures. A lot of them were taken by Jeff. Of the Logik After Dark events and also just kind of around the show. Before we get to Logik After Dark, just some things maybe y'all didn't see. Sunday we hung out at a cabana in at the Mirage, which was wonderful. Randy got what is my new favorite picture of myself, probably because I'm putting my best foot forward. But then Sunday night we had a meetup. It's traditionally like the beta meetup. I encourage everybody to check these pictures out. And it was just wonderful to see everybody having a great time. There's actually an amazing picture in here. I think it was in here of when Brooks and Jeff met for the first time. Oh my God, I've never seen a person. Oh no, I have it somewhere else. But I've never seen. Brooks was so happy to see Jeff. I've never seen a hug that was so just so beautiful to watch. But the Logik After Dark events in the suite were wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I think the first one we got to see, this was Randy before he started drinking green seltzer, and then after, and you can kind of see like the closed flower that then opens up. But I think for the most we had with and Josh and Jeff and Amanda chime in. I think we had like 35 or 40 people for the first night. It was really great.
It was packed.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I also, a whole lot goes into putting this stuff together. And I have here, yes, for Logik After Dark, is this? Yes. So the way we got especially the beverages, the beer and the water and the coolers and everything, to the Mirage, which you can see across the street there, is Randy and Josh and Jeff and Jess and I. We would go across the street to Walgreens and kind of do trips back and forth. But then for the second day, we had this brilliant idea of bringing a suitcase into a Walgreens, which didn't look suspect at all, right? And so we kind of just let Randy watch the suitcase, and then after Josh and I paid for everything, we loaded it in the suitcase. And then what was great, we had these two guys just like trying to figure out how to roll a suitcase full of beer, down the Las Vegas Strip, which is something to watch. They realized that just like all good things, it really only can be done together. Like that's really the only way to make this happen. And so this is an image that me just perfectly encapsulates the experience of NAB 2023. We had a big dinner on the last night with everyone from Team Logik who was there, which was so great. And also Josh and I got to share a $15 potato, which was an experience. And I will say it was worth it. And I think part of it was the giant potato shaped and sized plate that it came on.
Perfect. That potato.
Right? Perfect. Like it was soft, creamy through and through. Highly recommend. And came with 3 sour cream, and I think this was barbecue sauce. It was just choice, man. Choice. Absolutely great.
And you had figured out the backstory of that potato, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that was like I demanded. Honestly, like we demanded that there be a story. Like if a potato is going to be $15, there must be a story. It must like have. It was grown in like virgin soil that was never used before, and then that soil was destroyed like after harvesting, and it's only harvested by monks, who have taken a vow of silence. That has to be the backstory behind a $15 potato. Otherwise, who's the fool, right? But it was delicious, I have to say. So again, I want to thank all of you for coming on today. I'm almost convinced I have absolutely no way. Oh God, it still worked. Brooks, wake up. I wanted to thank all of you for coming on today and sharing your NAB experiences. It was just a great time, and I can't wait to go back and keep the party going. So thank you all very much. I would like to do my absolute best right now, technically speaking, to bring on our friend Lucas Donato from Autodesk. I'm going to try this and see if. Oh my God, it worked. Lucas,
it worked. Yes.
And we can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Lucas is a member of the product marketing team for our favorite visual effects application, and Lucas is here to help share the announcement of the winner of this year's Flame Award, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm very happy to be here. It's my first Logic Live.
Oh, and it's one to remember, Lucas.
Everything worked out in the end. It's going well.
You're absolutely right. Well, I haven't rolled your video yet, so yes, go ahead. I'm happy to have you here, and I have a video of the 5 finalists, right? It was 5 finalists for this year, correct?
Yeah, exactly. If you want, I don't know if you want to discuss maybe first beforehand the nomination process a bit, and we can go.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll show the nominees.
Okay, nice, cool.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know if you.
Sorry, I didn't know you were playing or not. That's why. But yeah,
No,
this year we did things a little bit differently. So I'm sure you guys saw in past years how the Flame Award would work is that it would go from nominations, and then it'd go to a public vote, and basically the top vote getters would go into a judging round, and then the judges made up of our past winners of the award would decide on the winner. So this year we decided to do things a little bit different. So our nominees from the community, artists and projects, instead of going straight into a vote after the nomination process, which took about a month this year. It started in beginning of February and ended, I think, mid-March about. Then we went straight into the judging period. Same process as it always is. We had our past winners on again. Really fun call. Happened earlier this month. And then we basically narrowed down the number of nominees we had this year, which was about, I think we had 10 confirmed going into the judging call. And we narrowed down to a top 5 finalists who then were presented to you guys, the community, to vote on the winner.
Awesome. Wonderful. Shall we play roll the video of the nominees?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go. Fingers crossed. All right. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Wonderful. So those were our top five nominees this year. Of course, it was wonderful to see the representation from all over the world, from flame artists all over the world in the original slate of nominees, and then the top five. We had our community voting, and we've arrived at that point, Lucas.
Yes.
We're going to announce the winner. One lucky winner.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, I think voting was about 2 weeks as well, and we had about 1,000 votes. So really cool to see all the engagement from the community. And also, before I guess we announced the reveal, just want to give a big shout out to all the nominees and the top five. It was really cool to see all their work and their projects. It was all really amazing stuff. Everyone did a really great job.
Agreed. Absolutely. All right. So here we go. We're going to announce now.
The big reveal.
The big reveal. The 2023 Flame Award winner is... Soham. Congratulations, Soham Rao. 2023 Flame Award winner. I love this spot, and I loved seeing the behind the scenes that he posted as well. It's always great to see behind the scenes for something like this, but and also his description of the project and the kind of the challenges that he faced, or he and his team faced. So congratulations, Soham. Congratulations, of course, to all of our nominees. And there's your 2023 Flame Award winner. Let's give it up one more time for Soham. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lucas. Thank you to you and to the rest of the product team there for all that you do for our community and for always being supportive of Logik and coming on all the time. And we really appreciate it, and can't wait to work with you some more.
Yeah, of course. It was a pleasure to come on and announce the award. And yeah, it was really fun to see everything come together, especially after several months. So really glad that it was a successful year of the Flame Award.
Amen, my friend. And I would like to say, technically, it was the smoothest part of this episode of Logik Live. So, I'd like to thank you for being a part of that. Really, I feel redeemed.
Let's go.
And seen. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap this up. But before we go away and go over to our patrons chat, we do have a couple of prizes to give away, which, God willing, will work. There we go, right? Some things don't change, my friends, and one of them is the Logik Live wheel. We've got 3 things to give away today. Once I find the tab that I have open, once I find this browser window, which is located somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, yes. I have 3 things to give away. The first is a license, a 1-year license of optics from our friends at Boris FX. So we'll shuffle up the names of everyone who signed up today and spin the big wheel. John Thornton, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, John. John. Excellent. I then have 2 pieces of Logik merch to give away, your choice, from some of our new offerings, the notebooks, the phone cases, the iPod cases. So we're going to shuffle this up again. We're going to pick 2 more people. Very excited about this. Dave McGee. Congratulations, Dave. Listen to the crowd go wild. And then one more time, who's going to join Dave McGee in the immortal list? Andreas. Congratulations, Andreas. I will reach out to you and we will get you your merch. Let me take us back to the old slideshow and wrap this up. Coming up on Logik Live, we have for you next Sunday, May 7th, we're going to be going over the Flame 2024 release with Fred and Stefan, hosted by Amanda Elliot. The following week, on the 14th, we're going to have an interview with the co-founder of Looper.io, which is an amazing way to stream your session live to your clients right out of your Flame through NDI and his version of OBS. You can do annotations on screen and have multiple rooms. It's really a great product. He showed it off at the Logik After Dark event. That's going to be Sunday the 14th, hosted by Jeff. And then the following Sunday on May 21st, we're going to do What's New in Silhouette and Mocha Pro 2023 with Ben and Marco of Boris Effects, also hosted by Jeff. Very excited to get those friends back on the show. If you haven't signed up for the forum yet, please do. It'll make Randy happy. Every time somebody clicks subscribe, a little bell goes off in his house, and it makes him smile, and that's all that matters. Please also remember to join the conversation on the Logik Discord. This episode of Logik Live is going to join all of its friends up on Logik.tv later today. If you haven't checked out the latest podcast with John Agapitos, please do. He is an absolutely wonderful human being and a great member of our community. John's active on Discord every day. He gets up at 4 a.m. to watch Logik Live, and that just means the absolute world to us. And someday, my friend, we're going to do a Logik event in Sydney, and one of us will be there. And I hope that person is me. We are up to 1,824 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Please help us get up to our next arbitrary goal of 1,920. We have surpassed Joel Osis, and we're now on to again being HD. And please do tell your friends to smash and like that subscribe button. Thank you to all of our patrons on Patreon. We could not do what we do, whether it's the show, the live events. We could not do it without your support. So thank you so much for supporting the Logik community. Again, if for that flame artist in your life, if you're looking for the perfect gift, you look no further than the Logik merch store, my friends. If you need anything from Boris Effects, be sure to use the Boris Effects discount code Logik-2023 at checkout. Save yourself 15% on everything that they make. Thank you so much, AJA, and thank you, Hot Spring, for your support. I want to thank Amanda and Josh and Brooks and Finn and Jeff and Lucas and Zoom and Ecamm and Verizon Fios and BT Telecom or Deutsche Telekom, everybody that was involved in making this show possible. I cannot believe that not only did we finish, we almost finished on time, which is really great. You guys are a wonderful community. I'm absolutely thrilled to do this, and thank you, everyone on the Logik team, for all that you do. That's going to do it for Logik Live this week, my friends. We're going over to the patrons chat. I'll see you there in a second, and I'll see the rest of you next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.